Welcome back to Cricket for Americans. Nick here.
Gabe here.
And Gabe and I are continuing our T20 World Cup squad selection, and we are moving on to Pakistan today. Pakistan is looking to get their second T20 World Cup. 2009, they won their first one. They're looking to get number 2, and they've won some other World Cups as well. We'll see how they do in this one. Gabe, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, my friend. Doing good, my friend. Not as good as, let's say, India, who's sitting there pretty in Group B. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Jinx them?
What? I'm just saying. They're in a soft bracket. You know what I'm saying? They're in a soft bracket. What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? As a West Indies fan, I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all with the pairing. What is going on here? Why don't the defending champs get some love? Why don't we get some love? Yeah, bro, we should just get an automatic.
Collusion. You do get automatic Final Four. You do get automatic.
Collusion. That's all I got to say.
You think it's always collusion. It's absolutely, the real reason is the mush. So we have this squad, right? A lot of people, from what I've heard, Pakistan fans are not happy with this squad selection. I had a conversation with Ozjad. He wasn't too happy about it. I hear a lot about Asif Ali. I don't know the poor guy, but a lot of people aren't excited about his inclusion. But let me go ahead and read the guys that did get included, and then we'll talk about some other things.
Right.
So starting off, you got the captain, Babar Azam. I always say that name. We also have Shadab Khan, the famous Asif Ali, Azam Khan, Harris Raf, Hassan Ali, Imad Wasim, Kushdil Shah, Muhammad Hafiz, Muhammad Hasnain, Muhammad Nawaz, Muhammad Rizwan, Muhammad Wasim Jr. That's 5 Muhammads in a row, ladies and gentlemen. Shaheen Afridi, Sohaib Maksud, and then the reserves will be Fakhar Sahman, Shanawaz Dehani, I like that name, Shanawaz, and Uzman Qadir. So those are the names. Full disclosure, Gabe and I have watched some Pakistan matches, and I think at least one in each format. Right. But we're not the experts on Pakistan, so it's a little bit of research for this squad selection commentary. But please let us know in the comment section what your thoughts are so that we can interact back and forth. But there are some omissions, and I'm going to start with one omission. According to, where did I get this from? A writer, Abhishek Paul. He says for him, the biggest omission was Shoaib Malik. It's their most experienced player, 115 T20Is, second highest run scorer in the format. And except for 2010, he was there in 2007 and helped them win in 2009. But according to him as well, it looks like they're going for the age factor. You only have 3 guys at the age of 30 or above, but they still have quite a few young guys too. All right. So with all that being said, Gabe, what are your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are this. First and foremost, this team, to me, kind of like Australia, also seems a little unbalanced, right? And the bowling, I got to say, the bowling is actually going to be pretty good. You know, I love me some Shaheen Afridi. I do. I love some Shaheen Afridi.
That's who I love. You got to find.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, the dude absolutely is a savage. You know, I think that the biggest problem is with, for instance, Asif Ali. I remember listening to Ozjad, and Ozjad was saying it's like he's Al Bundy. All right, this guy had 4 touchdowns in one game, and that's what he's living as. You know, that's his fame. That's his claim to fame. All right, like one time in band camp years ago, he performed well, and he's still living off of that. I'm being honest here. That's what, at least that's what Ozjad said, and that's what all the Pakistani fans say, that this guy has ridden that one good, you know, a stretch. Like forever, like he should have been dropped multiple times. But remember, one time in band camp, how good he played, he could possibly do that. No, okay. And I tell you what, Muhammad Rizwan, you know, he's going to be consistent. Babar Azam's going to be consistent. I mean, outside of that, you know, you got some question marks. And I like Wasim, right? Imad Wasim. We saw him play recently. Not Imad Wasim. I'm sorry, that was Muhammad Wasim we seen. But bro, again, you're in a bracket with India, with New Zealand. I clown and say it's the softer of the two brackets. It is. But still, New Zealand is just, they're going to come out and rate. India's going to come out and rate, okay? And, I mean, do you feel confident that they can go out and bang and put up 150, 160, 170? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's going to take to beat some of these juggernaut teams. I just don't see it. And for me, I think just like Australia, that's their problem. All right. India, case in point. India could lose a Kohli. They could lose a Rohit. They could lose a Pant. And they still got multiple guys in there from Sky to
Stop. He may not even make the starting 11 most of the time.
If Sky doesn't make the starting 11,
you can lose Pont. You can lose Virat and Rohit. As long as you got Sky, you're gonna win. You are clouded. Your mind is foggy.
You got other guys on that squad that will give you a 50. You know what I'm saying? That can give you, you got Excalibur, which we've seen it personally.
Bring them all along because you hope they can all get 50s. Absolutely.
We've seen Jadeja bust out Excalibur. Oh, you guys fell early today, no problem. I'll give you the 50. You got guys that you can count on. Same thing with the West Indies. The Spice Man fell. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Fletcher. Go take it. Russell fell. Oh my gosh. No problem. I've seen it time and time again. Pollard. Let me give you 50. Then you got games where Pollard doesn't even get the hit because he comes in so late, 6 or 7. But you got guys that can come in and back you up. Do you feel comfortable after the top 4 fall from Australia? No. Do you feel comfortable after the top 4 fall from Pakistan? No. And that's what I'm saying. How deep do they bat? You know what I'm saying, dude? Do they got a guy that they can count on when others falter? I just don't think they do.
I think you have forgotten. Now, this is Test, not T20. But I think you forgot a very recent match against the West Indies where they got themselves 3 early wickets against Pakistan. And then what happened? Oh, what happened? Right? So, yes, you don't want to lose your first 4 guys, but this is the format of T20. And this is the thing. You only need a few guys to fire in T20. One guy can get you 12. One guy can get you 8. One guy can get you 19. If you got a few guys or you get one guy that gets you like 70 or something like that, that could be enough with everyone else's change and whatnot to win yourself a match. Now, they play India first, okay? They play India first, which is going to be a hot ticket.
Right out the bat, too. They're like, hold that, cousin. You know what I mean?
You know we're going to be there on CFA. I mean, we might get shut down within by minute 5, but we're going to be there no matter what. And people are saying, they're in India's bracket. They're in New Zealand's bracket. They're done. Let me take you back to 2017, my friend. 2017 Champions Trophy. 2017, Pakistan lost against India in the first matchup. And then who they play in the final? India. And they smacked them around. India was all out in a 50-over format. All out after over 30. Okay. Pakistan beat like 180. So I get it's different players. That was 4 years ago. But my point is, you can't count out Pakistan, as frustrating as they are, because they can beat anybody on any soil when they feel like they want to, okay? When they feel like they want to. They can also lose to anybody on any soil when they have, a case of the yips or whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what that phrase is, but I do. You mentioned Rizwan. This guy's been like averaging like 94 in 2021. This guy's an animal right now. You got Babar Azam. You got Harris Roth. You got, and I wish they had Nauman in there. I know he's more of a test player, but I love Nauman so much. I think he's such a player. But you have some guy, and of course you have maybe arguably the second best bowler in the tournament with Shaheen. And Azhar let me know this guy's only 22 years old. Right. Holy cow. Okay. So you got some guys, and I'm riding that train. I really am. And I'm playing that danger game, rooting for India and still saying Pakistan's going to make it there to the Final 4. They're going to survive past New Zealand and all the rest. And it's going to be quite interesting. And the first match right off the bat, we're going to be able to see which squad has shown up and what they're going to show. Still think India's going to win that matchup. But I'm just saying, I don't feel 100% confident about that because you just never know. And I think Pakistan can be that dark horse.
Let me ask you a question. All right.
Fire away.
if you're saying Pakistan's going to make it out of the out of Group B, are you saying that more because you feel as if New Zealand is out of their depth because we know they struggle not playing away from home? Afghanistan, and not that we're being disrespectful to Afghanistan's team, but let's just be candid. Right now, they've got a lot of turmoil. Like I said, it would be like a miracle on ice. You know what I'm saying, bro? For them to try to like, it's just too much going on. That's just my opinion. With that being said, or do you think that they're just better than the other two? Because here's the thing, you're right. Pakistan can't beat anybody on any team, especially any day with their bowling. This is the problem. They have to play clean. How many clean games have you seen Pakistan play? All right, I've seen them play games where they're absolutely they should win, and they start dropping catches and they play sloppy, and next thing you know, the wheels fall off. You drop a guy and then that guy goes off for 50. You cannot do that. And especially against a team like India or even a team like New Zealand. The one thing I will say about New Zealand, I don't care how they handle the bat. They have the best defense, period, of all these teams, okay? They know how to field. They've got a great system. They rarely give up extra runs. And that's what you have to do when you walk in at a disadvantage. And I think that Pakistan, at least this team, has not got to that point yet where they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's just my from the games I've seen and the play I've seen. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what happens. You may be right. They may get out of there. Like I said, somebody told me the other day, Gabe, don't bag too bad on New Zealand. Bangladesh is actually really good. All the players went there. We're joking, of course, okay? But there is some, where there's smoke, there's fire. And go ahead and look up the record if you don't believe us. Outside of New Zealand, their record is not the best. And again, New Zealand's conditions are very comparable to an England, as opposed to being in a completely different type of pitch and a subcontinent pitch like down there in India or even in the UAE. But I mean, I'll say right now, I could see it. Maybe Pakistan makes it, but they've got to clean up their play, bro. They've got to play flawless. Honestly, they do.
You know what's hilarious is you started off that whole rant there asking me a question. You never gave me a chance to answer the question. You just kept talking. You're the only man that can have a two-way conversation with himself. You asked me originally the question, do I think that they're better than New Zealand, better than Afghanistan? You think they're better prepared, all this kind of stuff? And the answer is no. I don't think they're better than New Zealand. New Zealand's all class in all formats. They are a monster. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. I'm not going to boss. I'm not saying it's more than a feeling, but it's just a feeling. It's a gut instinct that I think Pakistan will make it out. Could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. But that's the answer to your question. I still think New Zealand's got a bunch of skill, a bunch of players, and it could be interesting. The sky's going to fall if India doesn't make it to the Final Four out of that group. The sky's going to absolutely fall, because that's the last thing you would think about, right? But listen, I don't live in that, what's those rose-colored glasses like you do as a Yankees fan where everything's awesome.
Oh, right? Shut your mouth.
I have seen bad things happen when they weren't supposed to happen, i.e. my Padres right now. They can't get out of their own way. They can't buy a series right now.
Bro, who told you at the beginning of the season, the Yankees weren't going to go to no World Series?
And the Yankees are in much better shape than my Padres right now.
And they're still not going to go. That's
exactly my point. They could be 20 games over 500 and rose-colored. Oh, man, we're used to championships every year.
Yeah,
as a Padres, that's exactly what I'm saying. You just made my point. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen.
Does it matter? Wait, let me ask you a question. Does it matter how
answer it?
Yes. Does it matter how many games you win if you don't get to the playoffs? No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
You made my point again. Because as a fan of a team that has lost so many times, yes, we want to get to a winning record. Yes, we want to be better than other teams. Yes, we will take that 20 games over 500 over not being 20 games over 500, because the Padres are going to miss the playoffs anyways. So you made my point again. You have no idea. And don't give me that Knicks nonsense. You claim to be a Knicks fan. You even know who the Knicks are from. Don't give me that nonsense. I, as a Chargers fan, as a Padres fan, have seen
You
The
suffered.
sadness. Yes. Immense suffering. You just made my point.
I mean, me personally, I do not care if what a record is. If you don't make it to playoffs and you don't win a championship, the record is the record. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. I want a playoff win. And the Yankees, yes, with 20 games over 500, they're not going to make the playoffs. Because guess what? 3 other teams in the division are all 20. Toronto, Boston, Tampa, they're all up there, bro. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
The
So I'm just
AL
like,
East is finally a good division.
gosh,
they're usually an
it's
easy
the
division.
worst. It's the worst. I hate them all. I hate them all.
I thought that was going to get him going. It didn't get him. He ignored me on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to comment below. Please let us know your thoughts. Please, please, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
That's 6 runs.